you talked about wanting the truth for the sake of truth, no matter what it is, and having an unrestricted desire for reality on its own terms.
Which is, by the way, as a qualification, that's usually something we grow into also. Rarely does it start out that way, but sometimes.
So that's really my question, is how in my practice and in my daily life can I open to that and grow into that?
Well, the first thing is feel the presence of it. Feel the presence of it. Feel that there is, let's put it this way. So it's very common that one has different agendas, right? I would actually like to feel better. I would actually like to feel unity because that's really wonderful and that's lovely and I want to feel more of that. And so there can be all these, these wants. And if we don't make any of those wants wrong, right, or something that shouldn't be, then they're just there. They just are what they are. Human beings by their nature are inclined towards feeling better than worse, right? Mm-hmm. So that's just there. So you don't make a big deal about that. Then you go, okay, is there, without trying to make it or produce it or even find it, but is there, in my experience right now, is there also that which just wants truth? You could call it God, you could call it reality, whatever. Is there that within me right now that just wants the truth for its own sake? Whether it feels good or doesn't, or however it ends up to be, that place inside of yourself that just goes, I just have to know. Whether I like it, I just have to know. And it may be a very quiet place within you, but I think if you just said, is there that place within me that just wants it for its own sake? It's almost like you're eliciting just by asking the question. Rather than trying to find it or be like that or have that desire or whatever, that you just kind of elicit it like, is it there? Is it part of my experience right now? Even if I have competing desires, it doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay. See
what I mean?
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. Just feel it. The sense here is you sense it. It's something you kind of feel into rather than you try to convince yourself of. That's why I'm presenting it as a question, because I don't want to be so presumptuous that I know what's in your experience, but we're looking at it together, we're just asking the question, is there that sort of unrestricted desire, yearning, however you'd put it, for the truth, for reality, for its own sake? Is there that the sense of that, the intuition of that in my experience?
Okay.
Right now. And then you just start to you might start as just kind of a glimmer, like, oh yeah, there seems to be something in there that feels kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, there is something in there that's kind of like that. It just wants it for its own sake, whatever that ends up to be. And you just allow yourself to feel that a bit. You don't have to make it anything that it's not, because we travel along the trajectory of our desires, right? It's just we let go of certain desires when they no longer work. Someone can go like, well, I just want everybody in the world to love me. And then eventually they realize, that just isn't going to work out. That's not a good thing to hitch my happiness onto. So you eventually let go of that desire and you go to something else. And really it's kind of, I know, this seems like a sort of a linear thing, but it's almost like by following any desire you have to the end point, at any point along the way, you realize it just leads you to the higher one, And then before you know it, I just want to stop suffering, or I want to feel unified, or I want to feel whatever I want to. And if you follow those along, eventually you can find in yourself, I just really want to know. I want to know what life is for life's sake. I want to know what God is, no matter what. Not for a reason, not for a payoff. I just really, because that ultimate, I guess you could say ultimate desire or yearning, that's innate within us. It's not like we have to create it or fake it or pretend it. It's there. It may not be on the surface of one's consciousness, but that's okay. It is actually, it's there. It's a part of every being. It's part of the imprint of the infinite. You know?
It seems hard sometimes to recognize it for what it is.
Yeah.
It gets so confused with, just basically being taught that it's this, that, or the other thing.
Right.
That it's all about. So, okay, I think I've got the guidance that I was looking for. And
okay.
Thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Good night.
Okay. Good night.